at the University of Lethbridge in the Student Success Center for our third study tip session with Erin Chubb, learning strategist. It's a midterm season we're talking about, and that's going to be a little daunting, I think, for students. It can be kind of something you're looking forward to, you know, before reading week, kind of the last straw, or something you get to come back to. So what would you say, Erin, is some of the best ways to prepare for exams and not so much dread it and kind of put it off till the night before, because you just don't want to open the book and start looking at it?
Right, that would definitely be the #1 tip, is to avoid the cram sessions right at the end, the all-nighters, all that. We know through lots of different studies that simply doesn't work, and students know that from their own experience. And of course, this stuff is easier said than done, right? Not to put it off. So tips we give for students is to try and put in just a little bit each day. So not feel like you have to do everything on the first day, right? Maybe the first day, maybe a week off from your exams or 2 weeks, you're just identifying what it is that I might be tested on. You might make a list the first day, and even if you just do that the first day, then that might be good enough for that day. And the second day, you maybe identify something on that list maybe that you've been having difficulty with, and you focus on that item for the day, or on a couple items. So you break it into smaller pieces as opposed to feeling like you have to do a 7-hour cramming session. So that's really, it's the reviewing often, and that we find works well for students, and then also reviewing actively. So a lot of students, their go-to method of studying is just to read and reread some more, right? But it's a very passive way to study, and students will find that the second or third time through reading, whether they realize it or not, they're not actually reading as in-depth as they were the first time. So what we recommend is that students find more active ways to review it, to self-test themselves with flashcards, or with apps like, or websites like Quizlet, or that they meet with someone else and they test each other or compare notes and discuss the information, actually saying it out loud or writing it out in your own words.
Do you find studying with someone, can it be a help or a hindrance? Because sometimes I worry about me start gossiping or socializing. How do you maybe stay on track with that other person?
Yeah, certainly that can become an issue as well. Maybe having an idea of what it is that you want to get out of that study time with that person. So certainly it can be a good motivator, like going to the gym with someone. But if you're both dead set against studying, then it can also be, you know, just an excuse to have a coffee, and you know, we all need that as well, time to socialize. But setting aside maybe time for socializing and time for studying as well, and even making an agreement like, okay, we're going to study for an hour, and then we're going to watch some TV or do something else if it's a friend that you want to hang out with. Good things to do during that study time would be to compare notes, teach each other, test each other, give yourself a chance to actually explain the information.
How about the night before? We've discussed don't cram, but do you recommend going over anything the night before, or is it simply just kind of out of sight, out of mind the night before that exam?
Generally, I use the analogy of an athlete quite a bit. So an athlete, their hardest workout before a big tournament or a big game is not going to be the night before, right? Maybe it was a week before, or 2 weeks before, and then they're tapering. So they're studying less and less, especially the night before, right? Or they're working out less and less. So the night before, yes, a little bit of review, or for an athlete, that'd be a little bit of stretching, or maybe a little run, or a little bit of a practice, but not definitely the most grueling practice. And then getting a good night's sleep, so not sacrificing sleep for more study time, because it's a law of diminishing returns. The less sleep you get, the less you're going to be able to remember and process the next day during the exam.
Thank you so much, Erin, for your tips.
You're very welcome, Colin.
We'll have more on Go Southern Alberta right after this.